All right, we are live. We are live. I'm Brock with Brock
Hi,
Talk.
everybody.
Who do I have on the show today?
Hi, everybody. My name is Renee Snow, and I am the owner of Tacos de Nieve.
Thanks, Renee. I'm so glad you're on the show today. I'm not sure how many
Me
people are
too.
going to be
Thank you
able,
for having me.
I'm not sure how many people are going to be able to watch live because I'm broadcasting on YouTube today. I just wanted to try something different. I know Facebook is able to get a lot of people that watch live, but I wanted to try something different today. So, to those of you who are tuning in, this is going to be a cooking show, and we're also going to learn some stuff about Renee and her business and promote her business. So,
Yay.
without further ado, so tell us what is Tacos de Nieve?
All right. Hi, everybody. Like I said, my name is Renee, and I've been the owner of Tacos de Nieve going on 7 years. And it's truly something that I've always enjoyed doing. I've always enjoyed feeding people. I was raised in the tradition that a way to show your love is to feed people. And that's seriously what sparked my interest in doing this business. If you had me out at parties, you know how much fun it is, how much I enjoy talking to people and hanging out and getting to know you and your families while I'm serving you tacos and yummy Mexican food.
Yeah. I can personally say I probably had hundreds of your tacos. And I think the first time that I met you was, I want to say it was 6 years ago at one of the canine dinners. Um, we got you
Yep.
there, and it's been nonstop ever since. I mean, we pimp you out to just about anybody that asks us if we know someone who does tacos. So they are great.
That's right. Yeah, one of the deputies had me out. Sorry, my dogs are barking.
That's all right.
One of the deputies, Barry Ballots, had me out or knew me. Just we live in the same town, and he had me come out to the canine dinner, and I had the prime spot. I was set up right next to the bar, so that was amazing. I took care of the bar guys with tacos. They kept bringing me drinks. It was a good time.
That's awesome.
And
Well,
then we've
I'm
done.
glad that I'm glad that Barry got you involved and that we've been friends ever since. I know we've had some fun at the golf tournaments and the dinners and weddings. You've been to a couple of weddings for guys at
Yeah.
least that I've been at. I know you've been to a lot of weddings, but um,
Yeah,
it's
those are always a lot of fun. End of nights, feeding people tacos or quesadillas before everybody goes home. That's always a lot of fun.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, I put it out that this is going to be a cooking show. So Renee's cooking tacos, and I'm making my famous guacamole that I'm really
Okay.
proud of because I've really tried to practice this and make what I think is probably the best guacamole, at least for my taste buds. I like it spicy though.
I
And
love it spicy. I use serranos. Do you use serranos or do you use jalapenos?
I got some to put in it today because you had said that last time, and so now
Yes. So have you tried the secret tip I showed you?
yes, I have. I made it at training one day, and everyone loved it. The guys love spicy
Oh,
food, so I love making
I
that. So,
I think they do.
so you've been in business for a while, and how old were you when you got into this? What was
So you want me to tell my age, Brock?
no. I just how old were you when you got into it?
Well, I am 44 years old and I started almost 7 years ago.
Okay, all right,
So,
and
but like I said, it's always something I've enjoyed doing. I've been cooking for my friends. I always invite them over. My main dish was always spaghetti. That's what everybody would come over. I had a big pot of spaghetti and I would feed them my friends spaghetti because it was cheap and easy and we just went from there.
okay, so Italian food at first. That was your
Right.
specialty?
A Mexican food.
Okay.
Huh?
So I one of the points of this show is I like to have people from the community, local business, and I want them to promote their business. Did you grow up in this area?
So I live in Escalon now, but I was actually born and raised in West Modesto. I went to St. Stanislaus Catholic School, and then I went over to Modesto High. My family's gone there since I think the 60s, 70s, and it was just somewhere that I always knew I was going to go. My grandma lived around the corner from the high school, so I was able to go home at lunch and be with her. And being with her and spending so much time with her is actually where I learned to do a lot of my cooking. Like my rice is all the way she made her rice. And all my food that I make is because of things that I learned spending time with my grandmother.
That's awesome. So you're passing along some super authentic recipes.
What was that?
You're passing along some super authentic Mexican recipes from your grandmother, and we get to benefit from it. So that's awesome. That's good to hear. So obviously I know that you cater to everyone in this area. How far have you gone out of this area to cook food?
The farthest I've gone for a party, I actually went out to Napa before. A couple years in a row, I'd go out for the Indelicato family, and I would cater their 4th of July event. Okay. And so that was probably the farthest I've traveled.
Okay. And so do you have any plans in the future of opening a restaurant?
You know, I don't. That's a question I get asked a lot. People ask me where they can get my food. And I don't have any plans of opening a restaurant. I mean, people who own restaurants, they know what a huge commitment it is and how much time you have to spend there. And you don't have any flexibility in your schedule. You're committed to being at that restaurant. And so, no, not right now. My future goal is to get like a concession trailer. I think that would be something fun to do. To be able to go to a lot of the breweries or to public events and put my tacos out there.
Okay. All right. I know some people that have some breweries locally, and I would like to see you out there on a Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, I've had a lot of local and I would love it. I've had a lot of the local breweries call me and wanting me to come out, but I just don't have that yet, that setup. That's something we're doing, looking at long term for our future goals for me and my husband. When he retires from Department of Corrections, he'll be my taco partner, and we'll go out and do taco parties together.
That's cool. That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna get started. So,
okay, let's see what you're doing.
You may give me some tips that I didn't know, but I always try and get the softest avocado that I can find. I mean, I didn't know that for a long time growing up, that you look for a soft avocado. I know how to make them soft. I guess you leave them in a paper bag for a couple of days, right? On the counter?
Yes. So like a lot of times when I'm doing tacos, and or people that want guacamole, if I find that they're hard, I usually just only pick out the pit, or not the pit, the little edge piece, and look to see how it looks right there. Not really just testing it to see how firm it is. I just remove that thing and see if it's green. And then, people don't know that. You stick it in a brown paper bag sitting on your counter. In 2 days, they're going to be soft and ready to go.
I don't have that kind of time or patience. And when I want guacamole, I want it now. So I always try and find the soft ones when I go. But I just removed that thing on the end. So if it's brown, that's a good sign, right? That means it's good to use
ready
now.
Yeah, you got to eat those today.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I start off by just cutting a solid line to the pit all the way around. And then obviously it comes in half. And then depending on how many avocados I have, I just do all of those first. And I'll show you something that I learned like recently, like in the past couple months, that I saw someone do. I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that. Because usually to get the pit out, I would like dig around at it with a spoon and it would cause a mess. But someone showed me this, right? And then it comes right out. And then I usually just bang it on the side of the trash can. So I'll go ahead and do all those. These are some good avocados. I got these earlier today on one of my breaks, from La Perla Tapatia.
Oh, I love that place. They have the best tortillas.
I love shopping there. We usually go there to get all of the produce and stuff that we're gonna use, like when we're making tacos or lunch at training. All right, so then I use at least kind of like a medium sized to large spoon, and then I'll just dig out as much as I can. And then if I don't get it all, I just go in there and I scrape the rest of it out. So I'll do the rest of these, and then you show us what do you got going on over there with the tacos.
Well, let me show you something that I use when I do my guacamole. Because at times I'll do 75 avocados because sometimes people want it for 150 people, and I'll just have a table full of avocados. So, have you ever had this?
No.
I'm gonna get you one.
Okay.
This will be a game changer for you. You will love it. So it cuts it. It cuts it, and then in the middle there's actually little blades in it, and you grab the pit, and then you scrape it out. I'm gonna get you one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing is awesome. I go through them. I have probably 3 of them in my drawers right now.
That's awesome. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, so today I had some friends come over, and I just made some tacos. We had carne asada, and we had pastor, which, you know, some people know, like the pastor is the roasted marinated pork. You can either do carnitas or you can do pastor. And then, of course, the try and true everybody loves is carne asada. Like I said, today I just had some friends come over, and we're drinking some beer and margaritas and having some tacos and quesadillas.
That's cool. What kind of beer are you guys drinking?
You know what? They were drinking that new one from Food Fix, that sour or the fruit one that he just busted out.
Oh, okay.
I think he goes down to that place on 7th Street, and they get a lot of their beer there.
Okay. Another good local place.
Yes, for sure. So right now we're just going to do, I had somebody is waiting inside, and they want some tacos. So I'm going to make up some tacos. My parents are actually here, and they want dinner. Anytime I usually fire up the grill, I just text out to my friends and family and let them know that I'm cooking up food so that they can come by and get some. Here you go, Ethan. Take this plate inside. So today, so look at just 3 little tacos, carne asada, and then we're gonna do some quesadillas too.
Oh, I love your quesadillas. I didn't even know
it's always a fun one to have.
I don't even think I knew you made those until that golf tournament a couple of years ago, and you were making them out there, and I probably ate like 10 of those.
Quesadillas are always good. You know, just on a flour tortilla. And it's so funny. I get asked all the time, like, why are your quesadillas so good? And it's just the flour tortilla, Monterey Jack. I think it's truly the grill. The grill's just nice and seasoned. It just works. I mean, anybody can do quesadillas at home, but when you make them on the grill, they're so good.
Yeah. Yeah, those.
Yeah, we're just going to put the Monterey Jack cheese.
For our training, we just got a Blackstone grill to make stuff on.
Is it the one? It's the one I gave you guys.
No, it's a brand new.
I gave one of. Oh no! I gave Victorino one of the one of my old grills.
No, we still have that, but an older gentleman, went out and bought a brand new grill.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So that thing's awesome.
Yeah, we take my grill with us everywhere. We go camping, we go to the beach, we take the grill. It's so awesome. We do breakfast on it. You can do hamburgers on it. It's awesome. We take it everywhere. We were just up at Lake Shasta. We took the grill all the way there with us.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, so when I make my guacamole, I only do it like this, and I mash it up a little bit. I don't mash it up all the way because I like there to be some chunks in there. Is that weird?
some people do like it like that. I know some people make it super creamy and they'll maybe try to blend it, or some people will put milk in it to make it creamy.
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I'll eat guacamole. I don't care, you know, if someone makes it creamy or whatever, but if I'm making it, I like to leave some chunkiness to it.
So you like a chunky guacamole?
Yeah. So I'll just do I'll just stab at it for a little bit, make sure there's no giant pieces, and then that's it. Like I just leave it like that. You're probably gonna freak out at one of my something that I use. You'll probably think that I'm a weirdo. I started using it because it was all I had, and I liked it, and then a few months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to do it the normal way. And I totally could taste right away. I'm like, nope, I got to stick with how I started doing it. So, but before I get into that, I'm going to chop up these serranos. So I'm horrible at dicing, and I like to get these small. So what I do is I'll lay it down flat, and then I'll cut all the way down once, and then I'll turn it like a quarter of the way, and then I'll do another line. So every slice, there's 4 pieces or 4 little pieces.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm no chef, but I try and figure out.
Like I'll do so many serranos at a time. I used to a long time ago sell Pampered Chef, and they have like a chopper, and that's what I use to chop up all my jalapenos and serranos. So here's the quesadillas, Brock. And those are quesadillas and tacos, and your guacamole would be so good.
That looks so good.
There you go.
Oh, here's another tip that I've heard, and tell me if this is true. So after you're done making your guacamole, if you put one of the pits back in, will it keep it fresh longer?
I do that. I usually keep about, like I said, I make guacamole 75 avocados at a time. So I usually leave a couple of them in there, and it just, keeps it from not being brown. I also like to put lemon in my guacamole. I just love the flavor of it. I usually always add more. And sometimes I find that sometimes helps not getting it, so not being brown.
I remember you saying that you use lemon.
What was that?
I remember you saying that you use lemon. So when I put my lime in, I don't put a whole lot because it goes back to that creaminess, and I don't like to add too much of it.
Oh.
I mean, I love avocados, so I can just eat an avocado like straight out of the rind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we've kind of just decided that your quesadillas are probably one of your best dishes, and obviously it's easy to make.
And it's funny. It's funny sometimes when people call and book me for a party, they'll just say they want tacos, rice, and beans. And then when they find out I do quesadillas, they always just say, oh, well, I'm going to have kids there. They'll probably like them. And I always just laugh to myself because you go and it's not the kids that want the quesadillas. It's always the adults.
So let me ask you this. How has COVID affected your business?
COVID affected my business a lot. Once he did that shutdown, I mean, everybody just canceled their events. Especially I felt so bad for the people that were getting married and the venues were canceling on them. So it started to open up back up a little bit. But it'll be 10 or 20 people instead of, having bigger parties because people are just keeping their events small. So I just had to adjust what my guidelines were, and I had to just adjust what my, my minimums were, and everybody understood. And, I just, like I said, I felt really bad for those couples that were getting married that had to postpone their weddings for like a year. I was super fortunate. Like I said, my husband works for a Department of Corrections. So, he continued to still work, and he provided for us. And, my money is always, we just say it's the fun money. We go on our little vacations or out to eat or do our fun things like that. And so, we were lucky, but it was really sad to see a lot of local businesses, restaurants, other caterers that just, didn't have that luxury like I did, and seeing their businesses suffer. And a couple of times I did here in Escalon, I just took the grill outside and just, started doing tacos because I was just so bored. I was just missing out on doing my parties and going out and being with friends, and I was just stuck at home. So I just put it up out in my driveway, did tacos, and you drove by and grabbed some food.
I had no idea this was going on because I would have drove by. You definitely would have come up and tacos.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was real lucky. I live right next door to a church, and the church was completely closed down. And they let me use their parking lot. And at one time, like the wait to get your food was like an hour and a half. But this is when people were stuck inside and stuck in their house. So they enjoyed being in their car. They enjoyed being with their kids. Yeah. I had people that were doing TikTok videos or just FaceTiming and sending me pictures of like, we're waiting in the car for your food just to get out of the house. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's awesome that you were able to stay sane through all of that and just make it into something. Get out and serve the community and not just sit around and complain and get into that depression mode like I know a lot of people did.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much you can do. And there was a couple of times that a church reached out to me because they knew I was here in Escalon, and they had me provide food for the local police department and the fire department. And so that was fun, getting my kids involved with that. And, we went to the firehouse and fed the firefighters. And then we did like 2 different shifts at the police department here in town and took food to them. So that was a lot of fun. To keep me busy and doing things like that.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to add this ingredient, and you're going to think I'm crazy.
Okay, let's hear it.
Instead of using just regular salt, I use garlic salt. Is that weird?
That's not no, because some people I don't use garlic like powder. I use fresh garlic. Just because with my, when I go out and cater to such different kinds of people that don't want, they want more natural or fresh vegetables or fresh items in their meats or in their salsas. So everything I use is fresh. But if I'm at home and I'm in a rush, I totally use garlic salt or garlic powder.
Okay. All right. I don't feel so weird now, though. I thought it was like an Okie thing because growing up, we made some crazy weird stuff. Spam tacos, which I guess are like a delicacy in Hawaii, but I didn't know that growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
Spam tacos.
My husband loves spam.
Macaroni and cheese with chili in it. I mean, this is all stuff that people are making now as dishes, you know what I mean, for some of these food vendors, and it's all Okie creations. It's weird. But I have another lazy thing that I do. I don't do this all the time. I don't need tomatoes and stuff like that in my guacamole, but if I have it, I like to use the chunky salsa. Good stuff, not paste or something like that. I like to use the good salsa, and I'll take a spoon and I'll drain the juice out of it before I add it because I don't want to add any more juice to the guacamole. But I'll just do 2 scoops. And usually when I make guacamole, I'm not making 7 for 200 people. So I just use 4 or 5 avocados and it works out perfect. So
yeah, a lot of times when I make my guacamole, I don't put tomatoes in it just because myself, I don't like tomatoes, and I don't usually cook food that I don't myself like. A lot of questions I get asked if I'll make horchata.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Looks good. And horchata is not my favorite. So I couldn't tell you if I knew how to make it good because I don't drink it. So that's not something that I make. And I don't put tomatoes in my guacamole.
I'm not a fan of horchata. I don't like super sweet drinks, but that's just me. But I have had it, and I think it's still called the same thing when it's super hot, right? Because
The rice stuff?
yeah, right? Because in the wintertime when we used to go eat tacos like on Graveyard, they would have that and they would put cinnamon on top of it.
Yep.
Is it horchata? It's just like hot horchata.
No. Yeah, I'm totally blanking on what the name is. I know. Sorry, Grandma. But yeah, no, I don't like it either. I don't like rice stuff either.
Okay. But so if someone's looking to get into this business, I mean, not necessarily just like mobile catering, being able to do events and stuff like that, but any type of food service industry type business, what are some do's and don'ts? What's some advice that you could give to somebody?
I would definitely make sure you have all the proper licenses, health code clearances, or health department stuff. It was real hard for me at first when I first started, and I got a notification from the health department that someone had complained about something, and it wasn't anything about my food or anything. It was just me doing like an event. And at first I was just livid, like that somebody would personally do this to me. But it came out that it was more like a competing taco truck or a taqueria in town that maybe didn't like it that I was, doing food. And you just had to get a thick skin and just make sure you knew, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I have my insurance and my permits, my licensing, everything is done. And that would be the number one thing, is just make sure you know what you can and can't do. Because there's going to be people that are going to say, hey, you can't do this, or, so you need to know what you're doing. But one thing too with my business is I truly love and enjoy cooking and feeding people. I love being at your baby showers and your weddings, and especially when it's like a couple who's had me at their bridal shower, then I've done their baby's the baby shower, and then I've done like the first birthday. Like those ones I just love. I just feel like part of their family, and that's what I enjoy doing. Like I said, from my food, I truly enjoy doing it. I love what I do, and it makes me happy. So you'll see me when I'm out there. I'm always smiling, always having a good time, and it's fun. I'm serving people food. Like, who doesn't love to? I mean, it's easy. I'm not doing something crazy. I'm feeding you.
Well, I think that's why your food is so good, and that's why your business thrives, is because you have a passion for it. I think it's very obvious when you go to a business or a restaurant and the whole atmosphere there is like down and people are angry, and you could, more than likely the person in charge probably doesn't have a passion for their business. I mean, I have a passion for what I do with training dogs. I have a passion for this, for this type of thing. And you definitely have to have, no matter what it is, if you don't have passion for it, you might as well look into doing something else. What's crazy is before I got into law enforcement, I talked about this before, but I managed Starbucks here in Modesto. And my dream is to open a restaurant, but I can make some food, but I'm not a chef. But I wanted to have a restaurant. I wanted to serve people food. I wanted to make it the best place ever, whatever. But I got into something else. But I wouldn't mind looking into doing that someday. I just know there's a lot of risk involved with the food industry, especially with a restaurant.
Right. And then just imagine, like you were asking, like you were saying about COVID, I feel so bad for these places that have the brick and mortar places that you're having to still continue to pay rent on, but you can't have any customers in, and you're losing money every day. And I feel bad for people like that. Like I said, with me, we were okay, but for people who have restaurants, it's just such a huge commitment, and such you're just putting money out.
Yeah, so, and I know a lot of people. a lot of people are adapting to this whole outside thing, and setting up tents and
Yeah.
managing their way through it. And I think it's a unique time to try and come up with some ideas. And I was
Oh,
talking about this with somebody else, and I'm like, somebody coming into this, like, they're just now getting into, they're wanting to open a restaurant, and there's probably not many people anymore, but they need to come up with a new business model, because who knows how long this is going to last, or if it's going to come back, or if it's going to be something else next year. And I think as long as you plan for the way things are going and you kind of adjust to that, that you probably have a better chance at success. Um, and more of a chance than the people who are having to adjust now and basically move their everything inside of their building to outside. They have this
right.
huge open area inside of the building that's not being used for anything. And I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I can only imagine they probably don't do as well as they did before when people were able to eat inside.
Oh, for sure, because most restaurants, the capacity being 75 to 100, and then you're having to be outside, and there's 5 tables. So it's
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that, like you said, the restaurants are having to adapt to a new business plan to try to bring something in for their families and
Yeah.
their employees.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my hat's off to you, and making the best out of this whole situation. And obvious, I'm very thankful that we're friends, and not just because your food is good. You're an extremely nice person.
Aw,
You always take care of us, and
always.
I'm very thankful you came on the show.
Well,
Um,
thanks, Brock, for having me.
you're welcome. Is there so I know that you have Facebook and Instagram and all of that. Uh,
Yep.
any other way that people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, totally. Just at tacosdenieve.com, you can find my menu, my prices. You'll see a little bit of my story, some pictures of my family. Like I said, it's a family business. My sons go out and work with me. My nephews. I mean, my best friend works with me. So you'll see a lot of that story in there. And like I said, where I truly learned my cooking from my grandmother. She passed away a few years ago, and anytime I'm cooking, I just truly feel her in my heart. I Anytime someone tells me how good my rice is, I know it's because of what she taught me and being in her
Yeah.
kitchen and growing up. And I do find that all the time. But you can find all my information, tacosdenieve.com, or any social media, you'll find me on there.
What's funny is you talk about your grandma being an influence as far as, your recipes and cooking and all of that stuff. And just to like dress up the whole background, I put a picture of, I don't know if you can kind of see it, my grandmother back there.
Aww.
We called her Mamaw, but she passed away a few years ago also. And she kind of inspired me to cook. I mean, all of us grandkids, she inspired all of us to kind of know how to cook also. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
and
love that. I love that you have that with you.
that's where we learn from. I mean, we learn from our
Yeah.
parents, our grandparents. We learn a lot of cool stuff from our grandparents. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's like
Yeah.
the majority of where we get our coolness. Our
I
parents,
think so. I think everything I learned is from my aunts, my grandma, my mom, everybody. And
yeah,
it's like you have that picture. My grandma hated tattoos, so I couldn't get this till after she passed away. But this is a tattoo. She used to always tell me, "You're my daughter's daughter." So hija de mi hija, my daughter's daughter. And when
yeah,
I went and had the tattoo done, the artist wanted to put it facing out so that people can see it. And I said, no, I want it facing me. So every time I'm scooping rice or I'm scooping food, I see it. And then these are her bracelets. And every time I see the tattoo, it's hers, always there with me when I'm cooking my food.
that's awesome. That's awesome. My other grandma cooked too, and I'll tell you something I still have of hers that I use. This is her old colander.
Yeah, your strainer. Yeah.
And I have like nice ones, like brand new ones down there, but I use this every time I burn the crap out of my hand, usually because of there's no handle left on this side.
There's no handle.
It's weird, but yeah, grandparents are awesome. Well, Renee, I'm
They
so
are.
glad you came on the show. I wish I was there to eat tacos and quesadillas.
Pretty
But
soon, things open up and we're back doing our golf tournaments together.
believe it or not, I do have some asada in the fridge, so I'm going to heat that up and just dip chips straight into the guacamole and then get some asada on the chip and
Sounds good.
out over here. I don't drink anymore, but have a beer for me and enjoy your family tonight. So,
All right.
all right.
All
Goodbye
right,
to
Rob.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Renee. All right. Have a good one.
You too, Rob. Bye-bye.